Hello again. My name is Dennis Karstens. I'm a retired lawyer and novelist. I'm putting videos out basically giving people my unsolicited advice and my, opinion about various things. Today I want to talk about the upcoming election in November between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Folks, for those of you who have not been paying attention and do not pay attention to this stuff, and frankly, I think it's about 75% of the people in this country that just don't pay enough attention to these things. They don't find it important, they don't like it, whatever. But it's incredibly important about your lives. I mean, if you don't pay attention to the people that tax you, the people that can put you in prison, the people that can run your life. I mean, what are you thinking about? Anyway, moving on. This coming election, I call it is a bit of a crossroads. We're reaching a point in this country where we have a decision to make, and that decision involves all of us and each of us individually. You need to make a decision who you want to run your life. Who do you want to make the decisions regarding your life, the lives of your children, your money, and your future? Do you want you to do that, or do you want the government to do that? Because it seems to me there is a significant number of people in this country, and these are the ones that aren't paying much attention, I'm sure, who don't seem to care, who are going to be perfectly content to let the government run their lives for them. I am not one of those. I am a lot better at making decisions for me than anybody else could be. Yes, I make mistakes, but not as many as those people, and that's the nicest word I can use, in Washington and government do. Okay? Here's the thing. I'm not exaggerating this. The signs are all around. The government, and when I talk about the government, I'm talking about both the elected officials and the permanent government, the ones that run the agencies, especially places like the Department of Justice and the FBI and the IRS. Oh, yeah, put them on the list. The IRS has endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, think about that. They've just added 87,000 new people to the IRS, giving them guns, and the IRS wants Kamala Harris to run the country because they know she will not get in their way. She will let them do whatever it is they want to do. All right? And here's another thing. I don't know that political parties mean all that much anymore. I mean, there are plenty of Republicans in on this. It's primarily the Democrats because the Democrats are 90% of the bureaucrats in Washington, the ones that are actually running the country and making the rules and regulations we have to abide by, are Democrats. And they come up with that number because that's the number that people donate their money to political parties. They have to report this. So 90% of the money that government workers donate to politics, politicians, and political parties goes to Democrats. So, you got to figure, hey, it's mostly Democrats. And that makes sense because Democrats, on the whole, are the party of big government controlling everybody's lives. And if you think Kamala's going to rein that in, she's not going to be anything. All right? Let's back it up a little bit. The same people that have ran things while Joe Biden is president are the same people that worked for Barack Obama. Now they're working in the White House for Joe Biden, and they're going to be back in the White House with Kamala Harris. And they've done a terrible job. Obama was at best a mediocre president, if you really objectively analyze the 8 years that he was president, he spent more time staring in the mirrors and admiring himself than he did running the country. And when he did make decisions, they were usually bad ones. And Biden, oh, God, for God's sake, do I really have to explain to you how bad he was? And Kamala Harris is no more brighter than Biden was. So, we're looking at the same thing. That's why this is marching toward what it is. Now, what we have coming, and they're talking about this all the time: disinformation, misinformation, and hate speech. There are constantly people out there talking about how this has to be curbed, that this is not part of the coverage under the First Amendment right to free speech. In Europe and Britain, they're already doing it. They're putting people in jail for saying things that are hate speech. And they have no real clear definition of what hate speech is. It's just if somebody somewhere is offended by it, then it's not protected speech. Well, I got some disappointing news for you. It is protected speech. All of it is. Disinformation is lying. Okay, that's protected speech. You can lie. The government can't put you in jail for lying. That's what we're talking about. The government, and while we're at it, the government is the number one source of disinformation and misinformation in this country. They lie about everything. Excuse me. And they do. There is not a single statistic that they put out about the economy, employment, unemployment, inflation, and all of these things that isn't a lie. They lie about all of it. And then when Trump got shot, it came out that the Secret Service people around Trump had been asking for help because they were understaffed for weeks and maybe months. And immediately, what is the response of the government? They lied about it. Oh, no, they never requested anything. We don't remember them requested anything. Then about a week later, they finally told the truth and said, well, yeah, I guess they did. I don't know what happened. Makes me wonder, is there somebody sitting in Washington who got the request for more people to help Trump, and somebody made the decision that, no, we're not going to give it to him. Maybe there'll be a hole in his Secret Service protection, and some goofball with a gun will shoot him. You think that might have happened? I'm not a conspiracy person, but does that really sound far-fetched? They hate this guy. And you know why they hate this guy? Not because of who he is or his behavior. They don't think he's Hitler. That's ridiculous. They're terrified that he's going to come into Washington and clean them up. He's already said he's going to fire 1,000 people at the top of all these agencies and bring in new people. They're terrified of him. And somebody needs to do something about that. Back to my problem here. All of this comes down to the same thing. They're going to eliminate free speech, or they're going to put curbs on it. Once they start putting curbs on it, once they start saying this is no longer protected speech, they got us. Now they can put anything they want on there as non-protected speech. And if they can put you in jail for that, they can put you in jail for anything. And this isn't going to happen in the next 4 years or even the next 10 or 20 years. Probably won't even happen in my lifetime. But if Kamala Harris is elected, this is going to keep going down that road, and it's going to be too late to bring it back. We'll never recover the freedom that these people are taking away from us. So please, help us save America. Donald Trump has his flaws. I will not deny that. The man can be a real pain in the ass and say idiotic things. But he wants to help the American people, and he wants to preserve the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. The Democrats, the Republicans in the House and Senate, the old boys that have been there forever, they don't give a damn about the Constitution. The Democrats especially treat the Constitution as if it's nothing more than amusing bathroom reading. And another thing they'll do, and I have no doubt they're going to do this, they're going to pack that court. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to put at least 6, probably 9 more ultra liberals on there who don't care about free speech, who don't care about the Bill of Rights, and they'll be building more prisons to shut us up. Dissent will no longer be allowed. And I know I sound like some crazy guy, but I'm not. I am a very rational, sensible, reasoned person. I pay attention to this stuff and I see it happening and I know what they're trying to do and where they're headed. They are great admirers of the Chinese communist style of single party government. That's where they want to take us. That's where we're going to go eventually. And if we don't stop it now, we're just going to keep losing more and more and more of it. I'm sorry. I hope I woke some of you up. This just cannot continue, or they're going to be running your life. Like I said at the beginning, who do you want to control your life? Who do you want making decisions about your life, the lives of your children, your money, your future? One last thing. Here in Minnesota, and I think other states have done this too, California, not only are teachers not allowed to tell parents about transgendering their children, if the parents object to it, the state of Minnesota can come into your house and take your kids away from you. Now think about that. That's that idiot Walz. That's what they believe. Walz is a communist. And that's the stuff they're going to push on us. That's the stuff they're doing now. That's enough. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like a crazy person, but this is too important to just let ride. Pass this on to your friends. Tell them. There are people out there sounding the warning here, and we need everybody to wake up and start listening. Thank you. Think with your head, not your feelings, or we're going to get in big trouble. Have a great day. God bless America.